form of a motion, recommend approval of the business administrator contract with Mr. Thomas Shoemaker.
I have a motion laid on the table. Do I have a second?
Second.
Good popularity too. Okay. Any discussion?
And again, I'd like to make a motion to table this.
There's been a motion laid on the table to table it. Do I have a second?
Yeah.
Any discussion?
This is going to cost the district $19,000 more right off the bat. I really don't think at this point we have the money. It seems to me that we're doing a lot of contracts that are not due until 6/30/25. I don't think we need to be addressing this right now. I think we need to get our fiscal money situation in order. We need to get out of the deficit. We need to stop spending the taxpayers' money. And we need to start being more constrained in how we're spending, and this clearly isn't going in that direction.
I move the previous question.
Just hold on a second.
Let's discuss.
First of all, that young man is awesome at what he does. With the raise we gave him, he is still at the bottom of all business managers. Still at the bottom. He could leave at any time he wants to and probably make 20 grand somewhere else. In another year or two, he could probably make 30 or 40 grand more. Why do you insist on chasing the people that we have in this school district? You're not here trying to protect the taxpayers. You're going to cost us money in the long run when we get a crappy business manager who doesn't know what he is doing, and ends up leaving in 2 months like our previous one who was here for what? Not 3 months. All right?
He probably will make you more than what you're going
Exactly.
what you're going to pay him by following the rules and knowing how to be a good business manager.
His job is as important as the superintendent's job.
And this is a man that lives in this community, graduated from this community, and wants.
He's the one that's going to save us money. He's the one that's going to find us things. He's the one that does everything. I don't understand. Other than you don't understand how a school works, and I think that becomes more prevalent the more you speak.
I do understand budgets, and I understand spending money.
All right, motion's been laid to call the vote. This is a vote to table it. Do you want to table it? Say yes. Anybody going to table it?
I say yes.
2 yeses. Those that want to not to table it, say no.
No.
I think the noes have it. Let's call roll call vote, please.
Lane Sullivan,
No.
Carl Thompson,
Yes.
Stephen Yerger,
Yes.
Danielle Brenneman. Yes. Mary Brenneman. Yes. Brian Lawyer,
Yes.
Nick Lovell,
Yes.
Fred Miller, Janelle Ressler,
Yes.
Motion passes.
In the form of a motion, recommend approval of the Act 93 agreement with administrators.
A motion laid on the table. Do I have a second?
Second.
Again, I'd like to table this motion.
Oh my gosh. Do I have a second to table the motion?
Yeah.
Any discussion?
I'll let this one ride.
Well, you know where I stand on the increases in salaries at this point until we get this again is not due until 6/30/25.
Motion to call the question.
Motion has been called.
Why am I not able to speak?
You were. I thought you were done.
I apologize. That's fine.
You want to speak?
You're going to walk over me. That's fine.
Okay, motion's been called. I asked you if you wanted to do it. Do you want to speak anymore? Okay. Say no. The motion to table is laid on the table. This is a yes or no vote. Yes to table, no to not. And
Yes.
I have 2 yeses. And the noes?
No.
I think that one went to the no side. Okay. Thank you. Roll call vote on this one. Right?
All right. Carl Thompson,
Yes.
Stephen Yerger,
Yes.
Danielle Brenneman. Yes. Mary Brenneman. Yes. Brian Lawyer,
Yes.
Nick Lovell,
Yes.
Fred Miller, Janelle Ressler,
Yes.
Wayne Sullivan,
No.
Motion carries.
Last but certainly not least, in the form of a motion, recommend approval of the interim superintendent and independent mentor to the superintendent contract with Dr. Don Bell, pending PCER's approval.
Motion's been laid on the table. Do I have a second?
Second.
Again, I'd like to table this motion.
Okay, motion has been laid on the table. Do I have a second?
Yes.
All right, any discussion?
I'd like to say that I haven't found, in my looking around, any district where we have two superintendents at one time. I think this is $35,000 that we should not be spending to keep Don Bell on. I think that he should go on 6/30 and be gone, and I think we should move on with the new superintendent. And this is my opinion. If we don't hire a good superintendent, if we do hire a good superintendent, look, he's going to be able to hit the ground running. He doesn't need somebody standing around. And when Don Bell came on, Chris Bigger didn't stick around for 6 months. So I have a big problem with it. I really do. I think the district could be better served by letting Don Bell go back to retirement, and we go back to doing what we were doing with the new superintendent. And let the superintendent do what he does. I don't believe in micromanaging. I don't believe in any of this when it comes to this. And I've never seen a district that has two superintendents at one time.
So I will respond because this, maybe you missed it because this was the part of the meeting that you stormed out of. And what we did was this is not costing $35,000. That is wrong, completely inaccurate.
Oh my God.
And we're not going to have two superintendents at one time because we're not going to bring our new superintendent in until the conclusion of Dr. Bell's interim superintendent part of the contract, which would be October 1st. So that is incorrect. And I would just like to state for the record that compared to what we would have been paying Chris Bigger for 9 months and a new superintendent at the estimated $160,000 for 3 months, compared to that, Dr. Don Bell, being our interim superintendent, has saved the district $91,052.31. That was done by our business office. Ran those numbers, and so I would say that they're pretty accurate. Yeah, that's why we decided to keep you on, Tom. So Dr. Bell has saved us money. He's not costing us any money. Your claims are baseless, and we need to vote to approve Dr. Bell's contract.
Point of order, PCERS will not allow by law us to have two superintendents. So when one comes, one's got to go. Now one can be as a mentor, as a helper, but that's it. All right, so
Thank you for clarifying.
now there is a motion on the table to table. Again, this is a yes for to table and a no for the not table. Those in favor of tabling?
Yes.
What for?
To table the interim superintendent.
Yeah, those who said, yeah.
Those in favor of not tabling?
No.
Roll call vote, please.
Stephen Yerger,
No.
No.
Wait.
Yes,
I misunderstand the question.
This is for approval.
Oh, yes, goodness gracious. I'm sorry, I misunderstood.
Stephen Diaz. Danielle Brennan. No. Mary Brennan.
Yes.
Brian Lawyer.
Yes.
Nick Lovell.
Yes.
Fred Miller.
No.
Janelle Ressler.
Yes.
Dwayne Sullivan.
No.
Carl Thompson.
Yes. My mouth says that passes.
And so now we need to,
Aye, or J.
for Jay, open the floor for nominations for board treasurer for a 1-year term.
I'd like to nominate Mr. Brian Lawyer. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any other nominations? Hearing none, I'll close the nominations.
Can we do a roll call vote, please?
Sure.
All right. Danielle Brennan. Yes. Mary Brennan.
Yes.
Brian Lawyer. Nick Lovell.
Yes.
Fred Miller. Janelle Ressler.
Yes.
No.
Carl Thompson.
Yes.
Stephen Yurger.
Yes.
Okay, so that's, okay, you keep the nomination. Now you gotta get, let's look at a recommended. So now you gotta put his name in that spot.
Okay.
I thought that was it.
No, that's just to get, that's just to
Just
get.
pick the name right in there.
Chris?
Does it? Okay,
That's what everyone seemed to do.
done. He's giving his blessing. We're good.
So that's the end of the personnel report under curriculum, co-curriculum, and policy committee. Item A is noted. Is there any discussion on item A? Hearing none, in the form of a motion, recommend approval of the 2024 list of graduates.
I'm sorry. I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? I apologize for this. Get my name right. Okay.
End of report.
Do you have any, Brian? I went to the last one, yeah. I went to the last one, the last JOC meeting, to be honest, it was rather uneventful. If you give me 1 second, I've got my notes, but. Sorry, I apologize. I had it all set up, but. Okay. Basically, all they did was cover the budget. They are at the general fund, and that's about it. They did say that they approved the ACTI school calendar. They have an assigned fund balance of $187,000 for future teacher continuing education reimbursement. So they're a lot like us. They're putting money away ahead of time. And then they were doing, had to get field approval for several of our regional people who were involved with the Skills USA competition, so they get to go to Atlanta. So that's a pretty big thing for themselves. That's it, end of that part of the report. And I turned it over to you, still from now on. Okay. I didn't have LIU. I had nothing for LIU.
It's highlighted on,
Yeah.
the actual notes are highlighted on the agenda.
Yeah, we all got them in our, now, so I'm not gonna go over that one, sorry. All right, interim superintendent report.
Dr. Harrington did a great job of highlighting several things I was going to review for you, so that's quick. The only reminder that she didn't give us was the fact that you need to make sure you complete your school board training. And when you do, that certification has to go to Carrie so she can make sure she keeps track of it. You will be audited on that event. That's all I have, unless there's any questions.
Old business, we changed up the thing there because we moved the transportation report in this section because these are all noted. Does anybody need anything unnoted? Okay, hearing none. Any new business? Hearing none.
Yeah, Carl?
Yes.
I'd just like to make a comment to the board, if you don't mind. I went through an extensive amount of work to go through these clearances to get this volunteer clearance. I also went and got my own TB test at my cost, not the district. I didn't use the nurse. I went through everything, went through with flying colors. I don't see how this board can deny me a volunteer status over assumptions and innuendos. I just don't see how this can happen. And for me, I'm very disappointed in members of this board for that reason. You all, I voted for Nick, I voted for Janelle, I voted for Stephen Yurger. I'm more than fair. I think it's disingenuous to say that this board takes their personal vendetta against me, even though I did follow through with all the procedures to become a volunteer, to say no. I cannot believe they sit here and told me no. I mean, this is a first, I'm sure, and it it's just, to me, it's just crazy. I did everything I was supposed to do. And that qualifies me for the position. You can't come in here and say, oh, I don't like Dwayne because he does this, or I don't like Dwayne because he does that. That's not acceptable. That is absolutely not acceptable. And I think this board should reconsider making me a volunteer for that reason, because I have done nothing to anybody that anybody can actually say I've done to cause harm to anybody. I even volunteered at the concession stand and got rave reviews. Now, that was 3 times. And yet nobody's come back and said, oh, Dwayne was a threat, Dwayne did this, Dwayne did that. You know, what you're going off of is your own perception of what you think's going on. And I'm actually very upset with how you guys handled this. I'm glad to see that Danielle and Mary and Fred did the right thing. I'm glad to see that. But for the rest of the board, I'm ashamed. I'm ashamed that you would take a guy who has a very clean record, spot clean record, and deny him as a volunteer. That is just showing the prejudice of this board. Thank you, Danielle, thank you, Mary, and thank you, Fred, for doing the right thing. I appreciate you, and it'll just go down as it went down. It will seem and it will show that there is a prejudice of this board. Until you guys come up with an actual record, Brian, or anybody else on this board, that you can prove that I've done something wrong, then this should have never happened. Never happened. And the point is, I'm fed up with it. I'm fed up with the way you treat me. I'm tired of the accusations, everything that's not true. Now, slander's flying around in this room. And I will say this, slander is a very thin line. And you all are trying to ruin my reputation by stating things that are not true. I have a very clean record. I've been clean my whole life. And this is just crazy that you would take and do this to me. I'm a very good person. I like volunteering for the school district. I enjoy volunteering for the school district. I knew many a times the concession stand was understaffed, and I decided at the last minute to sign up at 1 o'clock in the morning to make sure they had enough people. And I worked vigorously to make sure everything went smoothly. Nobody in that room had a complaint about me. Nobody. Nobody. They praised me. And yet this board sits here today and denies me volunteer clearance. Volunteer status. I cannot believe this is happening to another board member. And I know why it's happening, because you all have a personal vendetta against me, except Mary, Danielle, and Fred. It's clear to see. And that's going to be my statement of the night on this subject. People can read it how they want to read it. My record is clean, always has been clean. Not so much as a parking ticket. And here I am sitting here not approved. Now I did approve, like I said, Nick, I approved Yerger, I approved Janelle, all of them. And yet here I sit, being not approved. For me, I think it's a loss for the district, because none of you stood in that concession stand and worked the concession stand. Not one of you did. Not one of you. Not one of you volunteered. You all came to the game, but you didn't volunteer. And I did. I volunteered.
Okay.
So I'm done. I'm done. That's just how I feel. I'm sorry, Carl.
Your voice has been noted, and that's just that. I mean, there's no comment back. All right, I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Uh,
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Meeting's ended.